Tribe of dogs. Hulk's courage. It was cold. Hulk felt the breeze in his fur as it blew in the wind. The bigger dog was looming over him like a hawk flying over its prey. Hulk lay on the floor, blood pouring out of his fur. Is this the end? Suddenly, he heard bushes rattle. Hulk saw a dog jump out of the bushes. Thank goodness, it's Fudge. Fudge pounced at the bigger dog, clawing its eye. Hulk saw another dog approach. Lila, the nil dog, next in line leader. Hulk was overcome with relief. Hulk, I'm going to need you to keep still. Lila stood over him now. She had long grass in her mouth, and she wrapped it around Hulk's stomach, which was still bleeding out. Hulk yelped in pain. Okay, you're okay now, Lila said calmly. Hulk managed to get home and followed Lila and Fudge back to camp. Sky, stop! Hulk and Sky were messing around in the grass playing. We're meant to be on a hunting patrol, not playing like pups. You're never fun. Ever since that dog fight, you've become soft, Sky complained. Hulk took offence. He hadn't meant to be not fun. He was cautious. It had been a few months since the dog attack, and Hulk's chest had fully healed. Fudge had sent them to hunt since prey was hard to find. It was the time of leaves, and they had needed prey to survive the time of snow. In the time of snow, prey is scarce, and they need as much as they could get. Hulk and his little mate Sky were sent on a patrol because they hadn't been doing anything in camp. Sky, I don't mean to be boring. You know what happened the day of the dog fight? I could have got Fudge killed. Hulk felt guilty. Fudge had been the dog to save him, and was badly hurt after the fight. Luckily, the leader recovered well. Hulk had blamed himself, though. Hulk thought that he would have the courage to stand up to those dogs. Maybe one day he would. Suddenly, he spotted a wild rabbit. He stalked up, stepping lightly so he didn't scare his prey. And then he pounced on the rabbit, biting down on it to kill it. Sky, I'm going to take this back to camp, Hulk explained. Catch prey, and then meet me back in camp. Okay, his sister replied. After the hunting patrol, the dogs gathered around the meeting rock. They waited for Fudge to give her afternoon report. Lila jumped on the rock and took her place. Hulk saw Brian and Nellie padding over to the rock. Nellie had been talking to Brian, cheering him up about something. Hulk had always felt bad for Brian. He has had a hard life. He was abused by his former leader, Fizz, who had been rightfully killed by Lila in the end. Lila had snuck into Fizz's base and broke Nellie and Brian free. Now they live with the pack. Hulk looked at Lila. She was proudly sitting on the rock. She'll make a great leader one day, Hulk thought. Fudge finally took her place and began to speak. Dogs of the tribe! We have news. As you all know, prey is scarce, but Sky caught a deer today. That will be enough for a week. Fudge looked admiringly at Sky. Hulk knew that Fudge was thinking of Hulk and Sky's mother, Stella, who had died bravely fighting Fizz. Other than that, not much news, Fudge said. Meeting dismissed. She jumped off the rock and went to talk to Brian. Hulk padded over to Sky. Nice catch, Sky, he said. Sky looked embarrassed. Her torn ear pricked up proudly. It had been torn off by a snake, and so Sky was half deaf. That never stopped his sister, though. She was an amazing hunter. Lila walked over to Hulk and Sky. Sky, she began, I have a special mission for you. Follow me. Hulk's ears pricked up. Special mission? Can I come? No, Lila said. Just Sky. She's the perfect dog for this. Hulk was curious. What did Lila want Sky to do? A few days passed, and Hulk sat down. He was thinking about the dog attack. Hulk was worried. He had been trying to talk to dogs about his worries about the dog attack and the fact that they might come back, but no dog listened. Did he lose his packmate's trust? The attack was months ago. Are the pack still upset? Are the pack upset with him for nearly getting Fudge killed? When Hulk had asked Skye about the mission that Lila talked about, she walked straight past him. Is she mad too? He shook his head to clear his thoughts. Nellie was sitting at the food pile. She had a bird and was eating it. Hulk went over to the food pile and picked up a bird, and then he went to go sit with Nellie. Hey, he said. Nellie took her eyes off her prey, suddenly realising Hulk was sat with her. I'm worried, Nellie. It feels like my packmates hate me. He began to explain his worries about the dog pack. Are they mad at me about the dog attack? I didn't mean to put our leader in danger. I know you didn't, Nellie began to speak. I think the pack is just busy. No one blames you for that fight, although it was a stupid thing to think you can tackle a dog by yourself. Hulk nodded. He was grateful that a dog was talking to him. That night, Hulk couldn't sleep. He watched the other dogs in their nests. They were all fast asleep. He felt a pang of pain. He was sad that his packmates didn't want to talk to him. His eyes didn't leave his sister. She was snoozing so peacefully. He walked towards the exit of the camp. Hulk looked back. If my packmates don't want me here, then they don't need me here. He left the camp and ran through the forest. He ran until he saw no trees. The sun rose and Hulk was at the end of the forest. He saw an open field, then a city. He sprinted across the field, not looking back to his home. Suddenly he came to the human huts. Humans may be around. I must be careful. Hours passed, and rain poured down. Hulk was filled with regret. He was trying to find shelter. I was a fool to leave my home. I want to go back, he thought. He wondered how the pack felt knowing he was gone. He wondered how Skye felt knowing he was gone. Did they miss him? Suddenly he heard a voice. Pup, over here. It wasn't a dog. No, it was a cat. Why would a cat help him? He turned to see a black and white cat and a tabby cat. The tabby spoke. I'm Boris. This is Mittens. We come in peace. We are here to give you shelter. We know the best places. Mittens then spoke. Follow us. Hulk nodded and followed the cats. They led him to an abandoned human hut. Why is a dog like you wandering around alone? Don't you dogs travel in groups? Mittens questioned. I left my pack, but I regret it now. I want to go home, Hulk answered. Well, you have walked a long way. Where do you come from, dog? Mittens asked. My name's Hulk, by the way. I come from Fudge's pack in the forest. Do you know where that is? Hulk responded. Mittens nodded and Boris said, Nellie is an old friend of ours. We meet up once a year to catch up. She told us about the tribe you come from. We know where you live, although it would take us a long time to get back. Are you up for it? Hulk nodded. He was ready for the challenge. He would prove that he had the courage to make the journey. Hulk, Mittens and Boris walked. It had been 3 days of walking. It really did take courage to make this journey, although the route they took wasn't the same route that Hulk had used to get there. It was the cat route. There were lots of things that Hulk had to jump on to make the journey. They were in the forest now. I think we'll be there in a day or so. There's still a long way to go, Boris explained. Boris and Mittens had fed Hulk well, and Hulk was determined to make the journey. Suddenly, a twig snapped. Get in the bushes! Mittens hissed, and they crouched into the bushes. Hulk saw something that filled him with rage. The dog, the same dog that tried to kill Fudge, and that tackled him in the attack. Hulk wasn't going to let this opportunity slide. He wanted his revenge. He pounced at the dog from the bushes. The cats jumped out, frozen in shock and worry. Hulk was clinging to the dog's eyes, and the bigger dog was screaming. Hulk bit down into the dog's neck, and the dog fell. The bigger dog got back up and snapped his jaws at Hulk, but Hulk was ready for the attack, and he slid under the dog and kicked his opponent with his back legs, sending the bigger dog to the ground. And when the dog led on his back, Hulk pinned him down. Hulk did one more scratch before letting the attacker go. The bigger dog retreated into the bushes. Wow, that was amazing. I've never seen a dog do that before. That dog was way bigger than you. Boris couldn't help praising Hulk. Hulk was panting. Did he really just defeat the big dog? Hulk was proud of himself. Come, Hulk, we still have to get you home, Mittens said, and they all continued walking. Hulk and the two cats finally arrived at the place where Hulk had spent his pack days. His pack. The place he has loved. He walked in, expecting to be scolded for leaving, but when the dogs saw him, they all rushed towards him. Hulk! They were calling his name, asking where he'd been. Nellie was talking to her old friends. Fudge, the leader, padded towards Hulk. We have all missed you dearly. Sky was worried sick. Hulk was happy to be back, and his sister was happy too. She was standing next to him. Nellie came to join the dogs. Mittens and Boris told me that you fought to the dog, the same one who injured Fudge. Is this true? Hulk nodded proudly. He ran away like a scared puppy, he said. Sky was shocked and amazed, and so was Brian and Lila. Hulk's gaze was fixed on his leader, who was shocked. Wow, Hulk, well done. That was a very courageous thing to do. You are brave, young one. Hulk was grateful for Fudge's praise. Thank you, Fudge, he replied, feeling embarrassed. Courageous, yes. Hulk the courageous dog is who I am. I defeated a big dog in battle all by myself, and if anyone dared to hurt my pack mates, I would do the same to them.